Happy New Year, everybody. This is Jesse Knox, Beast of Burden. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I've been wanting to go for a walk and kind of show everyone the results of the brush management. So we're just going to go for a walk through everything Caleb from Forest Season Conservation has done and kind of show what the results are and kind of what we're expecting next 2 or 3 years with all this new stuff on the ground. So let's go for a quick walk and show you what it looks like. All right, we'll start in here. It's a longer video. I'll try not to talk the entire time, but this is this initial first pass. He came in just to get started. Okay, I want to show you these little grasses coming up. It's hard to say what all this is, but either it's cool season grasses coming or it's maybe some natives. Hard to say yet. So in this particular area is about 9 acres. 7 acres was under the brush management under equip, and then the other full 9 acres was under crop tree release of my CSP plan. So we actually went through here and released a bunch of oaks from cherry and cherry as well, and not a really high quality crop tree stand. And any foresters watching this would probably raise an eyebrow and go, well, this isn't really an ideal crop tree release situation. FSI probably been better. And you might go, what's the difference? Well, crop tree release, we're selecting like this oak here and releasing it. It's like that one's already dead, but you can see those older trees that we released. We killed these shingle oaks and stuff to release like a red oak like this. White oak was a bad example. I just marked it for a crop tree sake. But anyway, so you can really release some sunlight to the ground, get some more higher mass production, but it's hard to pick what a crop tree is if you don't have an ideal stand of a crop tree. So up here, we'll walk up this way and kind of show you the difference, because this is all cedar trees. And any of the standing cedar trees I girdled. This stand I finished up myself and they did the rest, because there's quite a few spots you just can't go and drop every tree or mulch every tree, just kind of unrealistic. But see down here, this is where we've cut trees. He mulched a lot and cut. So, and those cedar trees are up there pretty much. We've girdled, or I left a few just for a screen, and the neighbors have a lot of cedar trees there as well. And we'll go up this way. This is where we kind of first started this back in August. I did the crop tree release in August. I did most of it last February. Then I thought he was coming, and I didn't want to mess him up any. Mainly just dropping trees on top of trees kind of thing. Trying to get my gloves situated here. But this is an area that really kind of blew me away. This is all cedar, as you can tell, and not a lot of trees in here now. I mean, there's some oak and some cherry, but nothing really to break home about as of yet. And really the goal is just to get the sunlight down to get that native response and younger tree response. At some point we'll plant trees, but I'm very holistic, thinking, hey, let's try to let's see what comes up first before we get too excited. But down here you can see there's quite a few. As you can see, I'll try to zoom in. It's cold today, so I'm trying to wear gloves. Some forbs and everything coming up. Stalled. There's some, looks like clover maybe right there, potentially. Not that one, this guy right there. Yeah, that right there is clover. Might be, might not be clover, but anyway. So no, I'm just kind of curious. I'm kind of a soil dork. I'm really interested in the different soil types and different plant communities they support. So it's just be interesting to see what comes up and how to manage that. Ideally though, you can see this is a south-facing slope. There's at least 3 acres here that we'll probably try to encourage a spring burn to encourage grasses to be winter bedding. And then the north-facing slopes, we might try to break it up. This whole thing might be burned spring, but we have this nice drainage channel through here. That's really nice. So that might be a good natural fire break. So we can maybe burn on the north side some years, and then every other year burn on the south side. But no, it might look barren right now, and you're like, oh, this kind of sucks, Jesse. But you understand, all these cedar trees, they're way more valuable to deer and ground nesting birds on the ground right now. They offer way more thermal cover than people realize. And all this hedge feathering here, this is all old edge feathering, and this is 2025, so it's my last maintenance agreement year, and we'll probably burn it. And we've talked about that before. because there's honeysuckle in there I want to address. So I lied. We might not go back to the other part of the east I mentioned earlier, because this is kind of more intriguing. But pretty much there's a bunch of honey locusts and elm trees we dropped for the crotch release, so I'm bearing to being thick cover again. But no, this is essentially it. I think the guys also came through and dropped some more cedars there. So, and it's interesting because there's just, my farm has so many transition zones, going from, prairie country to timber country to very heavily disturbed. And this is all disturbed just from, improper cattle management back in the day and heavy erosion, probably poor farming practices. So just, letting it heal and actually manage it how Mother Nature intended to is going to be a big difference. We could probably take a really, nasty stand of junk and make it something really cool. Like this is all drainage down here. It's pretty wet. We had like an inch of rain the other day. But this is all bedding right now. It's all bedding. Kind of walk this way. But it's going to be interesting to burn one day. It's kind of a weird triangle piece, so it narrows down at the west. So when we get to that point, that we're going to have to drop some dead trees, and I might need some help. Like this honey locust I girdled, it's way too close to the fence line for a burn. But the cedar trees, I was told they're very difficult to light up standing. Like this girdled cedar tree, one day it's going to die, it's going to fall over, but I'm not sure about them. It's mainly the honey locust and other trees I've girdled. So this is the fire break that Caleb put in. And, I thought he did a really good job. I was expecting to be like all this stuff to be gone, but he was like, oh, don't worry about it, which I'm not too worried about either. I'll probably get like a rake, or I'll come through here and just lift them up. But there's quite a few spots here. We're just not gonna. Well, that tree fell over, that girl tree. Hung up another tree up there. Oh well. Anyway, like one did fall on the fence. We could probably drag that off here before I leave today. But anyway, yeah, we just didn't want to get super close to the fence, just because when you mulch, you're kind of tipping the tree over like a chainsaw, and then it will just, land the fence or do things you don't want it to do. So it's like a lot of these fell off on their own after I girdled them. That's crazy. So that's gonna be interesting when we go to burn one day. But there's a fence line up there, and this isn't really the main fire break now. So all this stuff I've girdled has fallen over from these heavy winds we've had. So this is kind of a good problem, because this will get burned up eventually, but we're going to come through the chainsaw the day we go to burn to get all this stuff cut up. That's going to be interesting. This is the main fire break regardless. Yeah, it depends on the wind. I don't know. We'll just have to see. This is doable, but we'll have to see. I'll walk out this way. I'll head back west. A lot of these trees are girdled. They fell over, which I'd rather have them fall over than not worry about in the future. But back to the fire break. I'll come back through here and probably the tiller and chainsaw and maybe a landscape rake, and just smooth this up really, because I want to make this a travel pattern for me, travel lane, be able to get back and forth, just better management for me. So but I thought he did a good job with the fire breaks. He's a good contractor, so there's just some stuff we're trying to, damage control and pick up. But no, this is pretty much, there's the road, and oh, this is honey locust and elm we dropped. There's some red mulberries we left alone. Those are native. Quite a few honey locusts we did girdle, and I'm not super worried about them falling over. Yeah, they do damage the fence. I'll be a good neighbor, cut them up, get them off the fence. So that's what we do. Eventually, one day, we'll try to fix this drainage here. This is all badly eroded, but I want to maintain this first, and I kind of get to know this part of my property again. And hopefully we'll see what comes up and manage it effectively. But this is definitely a thing I want to address, because I like to have a smooth fire break connecting from up here to down here. So we'll have to take our time. Well, I'll just pause now, because we kind of covered a lot. My battery's drained, so we'll pause, and then we'll meet back up here in a little bit. Okay, so we're back where we left off at. Looks like we might have missed honey locusts. That's okay. They're the least of my problems. Cedars are more of a problem. I might have hacked these trees, actually. Oh, I might have plumb missed them. I thought I hacked them. Oh well. We'll be back to the chainsaw when the cedars did fall on the fence. I'll have to come back and try to fix it. Oh, I apologize. I'm trying to watch where I'm going, not trip up, and I had a finger in the lens. But yeah. It's just wild to see this. I mean, this has been concealed for so long, and now it's open. And we're going to have something actually have worthwhile in the stand, you know. Show you guys this. There's just a ton of deer tracks on this fire break. Try to slow down. There's one. There's quite a few more. Look at this. I need to find a place to hang a tree stand at. That was the one thing. I was trying to leave the cedar trees alone, but I kind of get like, I don't know. But we might find a decent spot to hang a stand. This would be a really, I don't know. I gotta put some trail cameras up and see what would be considered a good spot for a good area. But it's kind of a big funnel because they leave here to go to the crop fields across the road, so that's pretty handy. But look down there. This is all bedding. Let's just walk down here and I'll show you guys what we're aiming for here. So this is more of a wetland area, more like red oaks. I think swamp white oaks definitely fall in that category of liking more wetter areas, but you know, this is all bedding down in here. I'm not going to walk in there trying to keep quiet, but you know, right now it doesn't look like much. But the sunlight down here, and we've released a lot of oak trees, more sunlight, more food. It's just going to be awesome. So, and there's still a lot of work to do. There's some honeysuckle I got to dress, and there are some bigger. You know what? Now I remember why I didn't attack those honey locusts, that 4 group back there. I was concerned about them catching fire down the road. I think that was my main concern. So, forgot about that. Look at this. This is crazy. You know, I really am a strong believer trying to manage. You have to micromanage your farm to death. I mean, we're trying to open this up, come back, burn, come out of the backpack sprayer, burn again. You know, maybe plant some trees. You have to micromanage the hell out of it. We all got to work, but it is a fun job though. But you know, it'd be good to all addressed one day. This is just a bunch of fencing I found. I didn't want him getting tangled in the CMI, so I just mapped it and I couldn't pull it out. I'll have to bring a skid steer out sometime and pull it out. But yeah. It is kind of wild to see all this. I'm used to it. I've been back here a few times working, but it's just, I don't know, it's just something, it's unique and it's going to be hugely beneficial for everything. It's kind of blown away. And that field out there is actually going to be prairie. It's let's just say we had a misunderstanding where this particular field is supposed to be in our CRP contract. So right now it's a short native prairie grass. And it's doing very well. It's got a really good pH. It's like 7.1. So the flowers are going ballistic, and I already have little blue stem doing really, really well. So we'll probably make that a part of this burn unit eventually. But no, you know, the goal is use fire to control these mineral stumps. That way we continually have good sprouts coming up, you know? Oh, look at that. That one honey locust fell over. See that big stump right there? Holy smokes. And, you know, this is definitely a unit that's going to be very difficult to manage because of the stain itself. So instead, we're just going to have to do the best job we can. Get this branch out of here. I just kind of see what's going to do. My biggest thing is just keeping the invasives at bay and keeping this thing open. This is a big part of the fire break here. Big part of keeping this stand is a good fire break. So it's gonna, I don't know, spring's gonna be interesting because I really want to get this lane even more cleaned up. Obviously, there's stuff like this you're just gonna have to go around, but all this stuff, cut all this stuff up and get the little tiller broken out and just get it seated down. My plan was wheat. Look at these deer tracks. Wow, it's pretty hot. But no, my plan is wheat and crimson clover, let it seed out and mow it like in August. That's my goal. Old hinge cutting. Boo. This, you know, that's the thing. That one stand I put here, I don't like it because of the, you're so exposed. Still pretty new to hunting when I put it up, so I need to move it. And that's a nice swampy to have it anyway. But I think we moved that stand somewhere up this draw. I was not quite sure. It'd be a really good east draw. They're going to the neighbor's crop fields, but no. And there's quite a few spots we can put tubes in. Hopefully, I have access to the skid steer, and someone can show me how to do it right. I can level out these spots. I'll better put a tube in. This is nuts. How many deer tracks here? But they're also funneling down to the food plot, which is really nice. So we just have to get creative. Might have to make like a gun stand, potentially. This right here is the blind I shot my first deer from, which is, I was 13 years old. It's pretty cool, little spike. But this guy, I mean, it's a good spot. Just need to resurrect it maybe. That might be my future stand, but we got plenty of stands on this food plot. There's another one up there, and got one more over there if you can see it. But the deer seem like this fire break. I thought I heard a deer, giving a squirrel or bird. But we're almost into this unit. Then we'll check out the other spots where real quick, this is most of our crop tree release. A lot of swampies and black walnuts are released. Need to do some hacking, but again, I was kind of concerned about dead trees so close to the fire break, so and awkward to drop. So, but anyway, I'm hoping to burn this spring when we have a dry spell and get this burned first. Nice little. This is a natural fire break, this stream, but I think it'd be really good. You have all that sunlight coming down now, light a fire and move on. So we gotta be careful of a lot of girdle trees, but we'll figure it out. Let's do one more hop. So yeah, and we're pretty much, this is on my property, just an old fence line, but we got to sneak over. But this is the actual property line right here, so we did sneak a little bit, sorry, but we're not really trespassing. We know the neighbors pretty well, but they don't care. But no, this is going to be part of this unit. We'll burn all of this, just pretty much river birch, as you can see. Some around the draw, there's some dead trees, but I just, thought, man, we have a full fire break set from this in the prairie. Kind of made sense to keep this burned as well. I mean, there's no excuse. He was here and keep the fence line open for us. So, but that's kind of the gist. This fire break connects up with the CRP fire break, and we'll go take a walk around the pond and show how that turned out. Okay, we're at my favorite part. So this is all cedars. And there's a lot of baby shingle oak up here. And there's been some remnant prairie. My biologist thinks, oh, it's just seed blowing it from CRP, which is very plausible. But right now I'm kind of like, who cares? It's here. We'll take natives over invasives or cool season grasses any day of the week. Now we did a video already on all of this, but they came back through and he mulched us back in October. And then he came back up, I think last week, November, and dropped all those cedars up there. So we'll kind of go this way. There's a little oak you see right there. Hang on 1 second. There's an oak tree growing right there in that little tube. Fun. Kind of walk through here. Yeah, my camera dies. I'll probably whip out my cell phone, try to... Well, I think I tried that once. It didn't work out very well. Different files. But no, this is all a nice draw. It's very much a drainage draw from the pond. But again, we're hoping to burn that, make it less... All these deer tracks. It's crazy. And they're pretty much nocturnal from the gun pressures of the season. But they'll snap out of it. We still got muzzleloader season and a light rifle season. So I'm trying to get a deer tag, get a couple more does to the freezer. This is all Indian grass, big blue stem, on its own, hanging out. I'm hoping in a year, maybe 2, we can light a fire through all this. It's when they girdled. Hang on, try to get this. Yeah, there's a grill mark right there. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Up there, that was all really nasty cedars and honey locusts. We did some edge feathering this winter, last January, a year from literally last year. And that's way more open now. A lot more dead ash, unfortunately. And I might maintain a trail through here just to make this one fire unit. I was not sure. This burn might be like a 5-year rotation. This unit up here, because all the younger oak trees, oaks can handle fire at a pretty young age, but I just want to see how the first burn does, give it a few years. We might do every 3 years. It just depends on the ecological response. But this one's gonna be kind of nasty because of all the cedars. And there's all kinds of stuff, honey locusts and blackberries, and there's invasives to worry about. All kinds of fun stuff. Another girdle tree that fell over. That's good. This is kind of I call it the wild west part of my farm. I'm kind of like this, pretty much from this section around the pond to the north section. We got to do a big burn on this spring. By contract, I have to. I want to do it for 2 years. But I'm kind of like, whatever happens. It's not anywhere close causing issues. So I'm kind of like, let's walk over here. Let me pause and we'll walk over there real quick. Oh boy. This is really sweet looking. There's tons of deer tracks. They have a deer trail. I think I kind of figured something out. I don't want to share it yet. There's a pond dam right there that I've been walking from. So wild. See my pole barn from here. I'm coming into here and they're circling around, which is kind of a wild thing with all these cedar trees, but they did such a good job. We're still recording? Okay, good. I have some random sign, but no, this looks really good. Way more open. I'm excited to burn this. The only I'm nervous about really is burning around the prairie. You're gonna have to do a burn first in the prairie, then burn this. I'll only make that work to be safe about it. It says I have a minute battery left, so what I'm gonna do is I'll just do a part 2 of my cell phone. There we go, smartphone, I guess. Yeah, look at that blue jay. This is wild to see that pole barn, and guys are gonna be freaking out. They're like, oh my God, why was it so open? You just screwed up your farm. It's gonna grow up, and there's prairie grass here, and all kinds of good brushy stuff, so it's all good, guys. There's the pond dam. I'm gonna try to keep that open and manage that way and try and connect the trail somehow. I'm not quite sure the trail's gonna be at. It might be out this way. There's a whole fence I gotta cut through, but my battery's almost dead, so. Let's look at that draw down there. It'd be a really good spot for a tree stand. I was not sure which tree at and which wind to hunt because they've been coming from the north back and forth up this dam. It's not this way, so it's going to be a very intensive trail camera survey because it's like a whole new farm right now. We've got to get a good game plan going forward. I should have charged this. It's kind of a spur of the moment thing, but that's okay. There's probably plenty of long enough. Look at all these deer tracks. Wow. I was wondering what the heck they're hitting on in here. I don't know. I'm really interested. Maybe there's these fronds of the cedar branches are more tender to give them credit for. I don't know. They're hitting it hard. They're hitting hard more on my food plot. That's pretty bad. I got like a 6.8 pH on my food plot. This is just excellent screening to kind of help break that up too. That's really, really cool. But we're planning on burning it. Every single tree they girdled has fallen over. Oh man, you might go, how are they girdled? Some of them have been dropped. You can tell they have like their butt end has a big rip on it. That's when you know it's girdled and the wind fell over. But a lot of those have been dropped. I take that back. But there's been quite a few cedars that have fallen over, which is awesome. Trying to walk down. Yeah, kind of get the gist. We might walk down there in a second. What I might do I'll keep walking this way. In the second video, we'll show you on the smartphone version. Look at this deer trail. Shit, man, this is crazy. And the thing is, they've been here this entire time. And they've been using the same path for years. It's just now it's open. You can see what the hell's going on. We're not going to maintain this, but we might walk these deer trails in the future and just keep an eye on, you know, what they're doing. Look at that. So I really want to show the pond. It's just really beautiful now. The cedars made it pretty, but the oaks, they're not really, really pretty. That's just kind of neat. If all this bedding from the edge feathering. I wasn't even planning on that. It's kind of happened that way. Well, that's kind of cool. But there's a lot of dead ash from these emerald ash borer beetle. It's really unfortunate, but it is what it is. A lot of robins. Oh, this is pretty. See how long the battery lasts for. It's blinking at me. It's getting angry. Look at this. Wow. Dude, I'm in Van Buren County. We got deer, you know. But I just, I don't know why it blows me away. I think I'm blown away that they've been in this open area so much. They're just going nuts. We're getting the favorite part of my farm. This is where I kind of call it the savanna. Old savanna comes into play. These big, massive wolf oaks. What we're going to do is try to get along as far as I can before the battery dies, and I'll swap over the smartphone. But stuff like this, see, like this up here has all been disturbed from previous farmers pushing in timber lines, and it's all screwed up. So hopefully by removing the honey locusts, and the honey locusts is a result of the incorrect disturbance, we'll have a more beneficial disturbance, such as managing invasive species and burning, and we've done quite a bit. Crop tree release and edge feathering in there, but we'll do more. Oh, look at that baby oak. This is exciting. If you're a hunter, you're not excited about these baby oaks. Something's wrong with you. That's the future right there, guys. This is beyond getting a big deer. You know, it's about the future, because we have to have some replace this guy here. I'm gonna keep on going. This is a nice trail. I know this trail for a long time, but a lot of young hickories. That's okay. I welcome hickory trees. You need diversity. So I had some oaks die. I'm not sure what. I had my friend Caleb, who's the forester, come through. He goes, "Yeah, I don't think it's oak wilt." It could be. He said, "I don't think it is." This is one reason why I don't like hinge cutting anymore. I really don't. This is what it does. These are no longer trees. This is, I don't know what this is. How do you manage that? So I don't like hinge cutting. My dad did those. He was really good at it. Just long-term ill effects. Great instantaneous response for 2 or 3 years. After that, it just kind of sucks. I'm trying to get to the trail. Here's what we're gonna do. We'll just stop and we'll pick up with the smartphone, because this is, nothing in here has anything to do with anything, and we'll go from here.